Okay, so let's now go and let's save this. Notice this is an assembly file. Now, to actually be able to see this assembly file, we'd have to have all the parts in the same location. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to we want to drill holes in this part at the assembly level. So as I said, we're doing this before or after during assembly, so it's not actually being done while the part is being made. So what we want to do is I'm going to want to sketch on this thing here. So we're going to hit sketch. Yeah, we've started a sketch within the context of the assembly rather than the part. That's just letting us know that anything that we're going to be doing here is going to be at the assembly level. If we go and we open this at the part level, we're not going to see it. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to draw a point. And so I'm going to associate that point with the center here. Now I grabbed the edge, and it brought up the little things to where we can try that again. I'm going to highlight the edge until it brings up the little key point. So I can do the coincidence, or I can go right for the center. And I want to grab the center one right there. And because these are going to associate it with the center, so if we move this, the holes that we're going to make are going to move with it. It's the nice thing about parametric modeling, especially when stuff is all put together like that, it'll all move together. So another good thing about doing it at the assembly level. And I put that point there. That one's blue. It's not constrained. We'll get rid of it. Those four are all black. Those are fully constrained. So what do I want to do? I'm going to go here and do assembly. And wait a second. Is it assembly? I thought it was an assembly. Assembly features. That's what I'm looking for. And extrude cut, revolve cut. That is not what we're looking for. Give me 1 second. I think I figured it out. I'm still in the sketch. I haven't exited out of that yet. So now if we go to assembly and assembly features, there we go. I want hole wizard. So we looked at hole wizard in the last chapter. And so now what I want to do is I want to put together some holes, and we're just going to go right here for our straight hole. So we're going to drill it in for a hole. And so size, we're going to use a 7/64 inch drill. Let's just find our fraction. There's 13, 11, and 9/64 is getting closer. 7/64 drill. And we're going to want to drill that. Come down here. We don't want to go through all. We want to do a blind hole. Blind hole means they just drill to a depth and stop. And we're going to do that at 75.75, so 3/4 of an inch. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pick those 4 points. Oh wait, that's type. Now I'll go to position. Now I will pick my points, and it's not letting me pick my points for a second. Pick my face, and there we go. Got to tell it what face we're going to first. And say click it in. We've got the preview there. We've got the holes, and hit enter. And there we go. We have now 4 holes for our hinge. Now we can sit there and we can go back and look at our door, and we'll see those aren't there, but that's okay. And so now what we're going to do is we've only got that on one. Let's do it again for the other side. Does everybody remember how we did that? So we're going to go over here, and I am going to, actually, you know what? We're going to go right back to this sketch. And then we're just going to edit this sketch, and we're going to add stuff to it. So I'll go to edit sketch. We'll pick our point tool, and we'll do the same thing on these 4. Highlight until it shows up. Go right for the center. And so we're going to do this on all of these. Now, once again, what's great about this is if we have to move the position of the hinges, since we're associating it with this part, it will come along with it and change. And there we go. We got our 4 holes. And we'll just update that sketch. We'll go back into our hole wizard. We'll edit the feature. We'll go into position here. We've already got those holes there. We've already picked our plane, so we can just now associate, that one needs to, we'll fix that one here in a second. We'll just go back and associate those with those are holes. That one's off. Notice how all the other ones are black, that one's blue. That one got messed up. So we're going to go back in here. I'm going to go positions. We're just going to grab that guy and drag him over. And that's it. We made it coincident. And that takes care of it. So now we have our 2 hinges and we have 8 screw holes in. So the next thing to do is we're going to have to put together a fastener. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to open a new part. We're going to make our fastener real quick. And we'll go right for the top plane. And we're going to build our screw. Right here, we'll sketch out a screw. Now, you can put the dimension in here, but the thing is that won't be, that will just do the initial sketch. It's not going to completely constrain it like this is. So we'll make it 190. Exit that, and features, and we'll extrude. I'm going to pick that guy there. We're going to make him 1 inch long. And there we go. Now what we're going to need to do is we're going to make a, because this is going to be a countersunk screw. So we did the top plane, so we'll do the front plane. We're going to sketch on that. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a revolve. And so we're just going to look straight on there. And we're going to go to the middle of our circle. Come here, make that coincident with there. Okay, so the lines are all there. Now we need to put together what we want for dimensions. So first thing, I'm going to put in a center line right here. And why I'm doing that is so I can do a diametrical dimension here. So I know on my circle from here, I clicked on the center line to click it up to the center, so it knew that we were going to do the whole thingy here. And so the head of that screw is a 365 thousandths of an inch. And remember, we made that countersink 82 degrees because we're using an 82 degree countersink head. So we're just going to put in a 41 degree sink. And that's going to spin it around for us. And you notice because we've got the diameter and the angle, the depth is all set for us. And we're just going to revolve that 360 degrees around. And there we go. So there we have our little countersink screw. Okay, so we got to do 2 more things to it. Well, we're going to need a point, and we're going to need a slot on the top to screw it in. Let's do the slot first. And so that'll be a cut. We're going to cut off this on this top here. Let me just draw a rectangle. And I'm going to center that up using my typical centering. Accidentally drew an extra line there, but that's okay, we'll delete that. Vertical construction. Horizontal construction. Let's put some dimensions on it. Thickness wise, we will make this 0.55. Oh, I don't want to make that 0.55. Make that 55 thousandths of an inch. 0.055. Okay. Now we want the thing to, not a dimension, don't want to do that. want the thing to drag out over. And so let's make sure that we've got a nice overhang there. Actually, I wanted to mention it from the edge there because I want to make sure that that stays there. So we'll convert the edge over, not the face. And convert the edge there to a line, but then I'm going to make it a construction line. And so now I should be able to do a dimension. Ah, I wanted to do a dimension from there to there. I don't think it's going to let me. Okay, so we'll just get kind of fancy here. I'm going to pick up the midpoint there, and I'm going to have it hit on that line. So we will take it, we'll make that vertical, we'll make that for construction. And so that way I've always got something at the edge of the circle here. And now what I'll do is I'll just grab it from here to here, and we'll just put it, we'll overhang it by 10 thousandths of an inch. 100 thousandths of an inch. And then I am going to cut that down. Well, 40 thousandths of an inch should be good. So we'll exit out of the sketch because we're already in the cut tool. 0.04. There we go. Now we've got our slot for our screwdriver. And the last thing that we need is, let's make the point at the bottom to make it look more like a screw. And so we'll come down, and this time we're going to do an extrude cut instead of an extrude, oh sorry, not a screwed cut, we don't want to do that. We're going to do a revolve cut instead of revolve. And so pick the plane that we're going to sketch on, and it's that front plane. And then let's draw us a nice little rectangle, a nice little triangle. So we'll tag it to there, up, down to there. Okay, and let's grab that silhouette edge and our edge. We'll make those collinear. And then all we should need to do is add a dimension in there. Of 35 degrees. Now, I'm looking at this. We're going to end up with a problem because I've got a point here on a revolve. If we revolve that around, we're going to end up with a zero. We're going to end up with a zero width feature. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and let's add a box to the bottom to kind of forestall that from happening. I'll turn that into a construction line. I'll make this a vertical line. That's already a horizontal, so let's stick a dimension in. And yeah, we'll bring that down just 10 thousandths of an inch just for the cut. Execute that, exit our sketch. It wants to know our line of axis of revolution. So we are going to, let's view our axes, and we're just going to pick that axis and say OK. And now we've got a nice little point on our screw. So we've got something that looks, for the most part, like a screw. Okay, and so in the next video, we'll put this in our assembly.